One Real Housewife bought an empty lot for $4 million, built a mansion on it for $21 million, and sold it for $55 million. Another housewife earned $7,200 for her entire first season on Bravo, then flipped a single contract clause into a $100 million empire. These women don't just live in houses, they live in zip codes that charge admission. So today we're going through the most expensive mansions in Real Housewives history and the careers, the businesses, and the hustle that actually paid for them. We're starting from the bottom and working our way up to the most expensive home in franchise history. Let's go. Shannon Beater, Orange County. We're kicking things off with Shannon Beater from the Real Housewives of Orange County. And honestly, Shannon's story is less about one specific mansion and more about how real estate and divorce can rewrite your entire financial life. Shannon and her ex-husband, David Beater, previously owned a 13,300 square foot eco-friendly mansion in Orange County that featured an indoor basketball court, an elevator, and a guest house. That home sold for $9.05 million. After their divorce in 2019, Shannon was awarded a $1.4 million lump sum and $10,000 a month in spousal support for 10 years. She has a net worth estimated at around $20 million. But here's what makes Shannon interesting. She joined Archie in Season 9 back in 2014. And by Season 14, court documents revealed she was earning somewhere between $583,000 and $900,000 per season. She also launched Real for Real Cuisine, a wellness brand built around organic healthy food products. Shannon basically turned a messy divorce and a Bravo paycheck into a whole second act. Her house might not have a champagne button, but her bank account doesn't need one. Kandi Burruss, Atlanta. The price tag on Kandi's mansion might be the lowest on this list, but her story of how she earned it is arguably the most impressive here. Kandi Burruss lives in a 7,000 square foot mansion in Atlanta with 7 bedrooms and 9.5 bathrooms. It has a music room, which makes sense because this woman is the music, a bar, an elevator, an outdoor heated pool, and serious security. She bought the property in 2012 for $512,000, spent around $200,000 on renovations, and the home is now estimated to be worth at least $1.7 million. But here's why Kandi deserves a spot. She was in the R&B group Xscape at 15 years old. Their debut album went platinum when she was 17. After leaving the group, she pivoted to songwriting and wrote No Scrubs for TLC and Bills 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 for Destiny's Child, 2 of the biggest hits of the late 90s. In 2000, she became the first woman ever to win ASCAP Songwriter of the Year at the Rhythm and Soul Awards. She's also written for Mariah Carey, Alicia Keys, and more. On top of all that, she runs her own record label, Kandi Coded Entertainment, owns 2 restaurants in the Atlanta area pulling in over $2 million a year in profits, launched Bedroom Kandi, and runs Tags Boutique. Her estimated net worth sits around $30 million. While some housewives married their fortune, Kandi literally wrote hers, one platinum hit at a time. Jennifer Aydin, Paramus, New Jersey. Jennifer Aydin calls her home the Palace of Paramus. And honestly, that's not an exaggeration. This is a 20,000 square foot mega mansion in Paramus, New Jersey with 9 bedrooms and 16 bathrooms. Yes, 16. Jennifer explained that the architect told her every bedroom should have its own bathroom to keep the home's value up, so she listened. That's not excess. That's financial literacy, apparently. The main house is 12,000 square feet, but the basement adds another 8,000. And this isn't your average finished basement with a pool table and a sad couch. This basement has a full home theater, a spa with a sauna, a gym, and wait for it, a 2-story indoor basketball court. They had to dig 30 feet underground to build it. The home also has 30-foot-high ceilings in the entryway, double kitchen islands, a pool house, an outdoor pool, and an elevator because Jennifer said her lazy self doesn't want to climb 4 flights of stairs. Her closet has 2 stories. The formal living room is all white and gold, which Jennifer described as the fancy room that only the fancy people get to use. The money behind it, Jennifer's husband, Dr. Bill Aden, is a plastic surgeon. Before his practice took off, they lived in subsidized housing in Manhattan while he was a resident at St. Vincent's. Jennifer once shared a photo from 2004, captioning it that they couldn't afford much and his parents helped out. So, this isn't old money. This is scalpel money, and they turned it into a palace. Teresa Giudice, Montville, New Jersey. Teresa Giudice's mansion is one of the most famous houses in Housewives history. But not just because of how it looks. It's famous because of everything that happened to it. In 2008, Teresa and her then-husband Joe built a nearly 10,000-square-foot mansion in Montville, New Jersey. 6 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms, a Cinderella staircase that looked ripped from a Disney movie, a massive chandelier in the foyer, and a swimming pool. It was everything Teresa loved. Bold, dramatic, and unapologetically over the top. Then everything fell apart. In 2009, the couple filed for bankruptcy, claiming $11 million in debt. In 2013, they were indicted on 39 counts, including wire fraud, bankruptcy fraud, and making false statements on loan applications. Teresa served 11 months in federal prison. Joe served his sentence and was later deported to Italy. The mansion was listed for nearly $4 million in 2014. It's sad. It was relisted in 2020 for $2.5 million, then lowered to $2.24 million, then lowered again to $1.99 million. It finally sold in May 2022 for $2 million, with all proceeds going to Teresa. She then purchased a new Montville mansion with her new husband, businessman Luis Ruelas, for $3.35 million. Teresa's estimated net worth sits at around $500,000, which might sound low, but she's earned her Real Housewives of New Jersey paycheck every single season since 2009, reportedly $62,000 per episode at her peak. She's also published multiple New York Times best-selling cookbooks, launched a cocktail line called Fabellini, and a hair care line named after her daughter Mylania. The house might be gone, but the hustle never stopped. Sutton Strake, Bel-Air. Sutton Strake might be the most quietly wealthy housewife on this entire list. Her estimated net worth is around $50 million, and most of it came from a divorce settlement that reads like a legal thriller. In 2020, Sutton purchased a mansion in Bel-Air, California for $5.35 million. The home has 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a swimming pool, and is located in one of the most exclusive neighborhoods in Los Angeles. She later listed it for nearly $9 million, a $3.5 million markup in just a few years. She personally oversaw the renovation. And when the house was done, she told Andy Cohen on the reunion, "Every morning I wake up and I'm like, this is amazing." Now, the backstory. Sutton was married to Christian Strake, a managing director and global head of credit research at PIMCO, one of the largest investment firms in the world. When they divorced in 2018, Sutton admitted on Rob that she didn't even fully understand the extent of their wealth until the divorce proceedings began. She discovered they owned interests in 2 minor league baseball teams. The settlement awarded her $300,000 per month in spousal support, $50,000 per month in child support, a $1.2 million lump sum, multiple properties including homes in California and Georgia, several vehicles, a checking account with $800,000, and a personal art collection that included works by Andy Warhol. As her castmate Lisa Rinna once said, "She's rich. Honey, she's rich." Sutton now owns a fashion concept store called the Sutton Concept in West Hollywood and has rebuilt her identity entirely. She went from being, in her own words, a shell of a person after her divorce to living what she calls her best life. That Bel-Air mansion isn't just a house. It's a comeback. Ramona Singer, New York City, and the Hamptons. Ramona Singer is the only housewife who appeared in every single season of the original Real Housewives of New York City. All 13 seasons. That alone is a revenue stream. But Ramona was making moves long before Bravo came calling. Her Upper East Side apartment in Manhattan was listed for $4.95 million. She originally bought it in 1997 for $1.42 million, meaning she lived in it for over 20 years while it tripled in value. It became iconic real estate as it was featured on Roni season after season. 5 bedrooms, 3.5 baths, right in the heart of Manhattan's most coveted neighborhood. Then there's the Hamptons house. Ramona and her ex-husband Mario purchased a Southampton home in 1995 for just under $1 million. 6 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, sitting on 1.4 acres. And here's the move. She turned it into a rental property that commands up to $250,000 per month during the summer. That's not a vacation home. That's a seasonal ATM. But Ramona's money started way before real estate. She graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology, became a buyer for Macy's, then founded RMS Fashions at age 29, a wholesale company that buys excess retail inventory and resells it to discount stores. She described it as very lucrative. She also co-founded True Faith Jewelry, launched the Ramona Singer collection for HSN, created a skincare line called True Renewal, later rebranded as Ageless by Ramona, and released her own Pinot Grigio. Her estimated net worth is between $16 and $18 million. And she was reportedly earning $500,000 per season on Roni. Not bad for a woman whose signature move was popping her eyes wide open and ordering another glass of Pinot. Kyle Richards, Bel Air. Kyle Richards' Bel Air mansion was the original Rob house. This is where the white parties happened, where the drama unfolded, where the splits were performed. It was practically a character on the show for years. The home sat on a quiet, tree-lined cul-de-sac in Upper Bel Air. 6,229 square feet, 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms. The interior featured a gilded marble fireplace, a bright white chef's kitchen, a sophisticated pub with a stone fireplace and wet bar, and a state-of-the-art home theater. Outside there was a sparkling pool and spa, a lighted sports court, a putting green, and a rolling lawn that was basically designed for hosting events. Kyle originally purchased the home in 2011 for $3.05 million. Her friend and interior designer Faye Resnick helped with a major renovation, and they hand-selected stone from the Carrara Mountains in Italy for the interior. The home sold in January 2022 for $6.1 million after sitting on and off the market for about 4 years. The buyer was author Amanda Francis. And in true family fashion, the listing agents were Kyle's husband, Mauricio Umansky, and his daughters Farah and Alexia from the agency. Speaking of Mauricio, he's the founder and CEO of the agency, one of the biggest luxury real estate brokerages in the world with over $4 billion in career sales. His clients include Sofia Vergara, DJ Khaled, and just about every celebrity looking to move in Los Angeles. That Bel Air house was impressive, but it was really just a stepping stone. All right, we're not even halfway through, and we've already blown through $100 million in real estate. Hit that subscribe button and drop a like so the algorithm shows this to more people who want to know how a housewife affords 16 bathrooms. Okay, let's keep going. Margaret Joseph's, New Jersey. Margaret Joseph's New Jersey mansion might have one of the lower price tags on this list, but the story behind it is pure housewives chaos. Her home is a 115-year-old property she and her husband Joe Bonino purchased in 2016 for $1.4 million. It's 7,851 square feet with 7 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. They bought it knowing it needed a full renovation. What they didn't know was that renovating a century-old house would nearly bankrupt them. Margaret famously threw her own birthday party in the unfinished shell of the house while it was still under construction, which became one of the most memorable scenes in Real Housewives of New Jersey. What the cast didn't know at the time was that the property was actually heading into foreclosure. Page 6 reported that Margaret and Joe had taken out mortgages on both the property and the one next door, and the bank was seeking to recover possession. She was also dealing with a $300,000 fine from a trademark infringement lawsuit filed by Vineyard Vines against her lifestyle brand, Marta Collections, plus a lawsuit from Capital One Bank for allegedly not paying her credit card bill. She openly admitted on the show, "I filed bankruptcy on my business. They put a lien on my property. I'm up to my eyeballs in legal bills." But here's the thing. Margaret is still standing. She founded Marta Collections back in 1999, turning decoupaged buckets from Home Depot into a global lifestyle brand, selling bags, accessories, beauty products, home decor, and luggage. She was named one of Country Living's Entrepreneurs of the Year in 2007, a full decade before she became a housewife. She graduated from the Fashion Institute of Technology, worked in the New York Garment Center, wrote a memoir called Caviar Dreams, Tuna Fish Budget, and hosts a podcast by the same name. Her estimated net worth is around $5 million. The house is now fully renovated and looks incredible. Sometimes the comeback is better than the setback, even if the setback involves a foreclosure notice and a lawsuit from a whale-themed clothing company. Kenya Moore, Moore Manor, Atlanta. Kenya Moore's house is proof that a vision, a renovation budget, and a grudge can accomplish incredible things. She purchased the home in the Sandy Springs area of Atlanta in 2015 for just $515,000. It was a fixer-upper built in 1979, and Kenya gutted it completely. The renovation became a full storyline on RHOA. And by the time she was done, the home, dubbed Moore Manor, had been transformed into a 6,500 square foot estate with 5 bedrooms, 6 bathrooms, a showstopper kitchen with a 13-foot granite island, a glamorous beauty room with glass wallpaper, spa-like bathrooms, and a lavender-themed closet that looks more like a boutique. In 2021, she added a resort-style saltwater pool and cabanas. Kenya invested nearly $1 million total into the property, and it's now estimated to be worth around $1.5 million. She's called it the most iconic house in Atlanta, which didn't go over well with her castmate Sherry Whitfield, who was simultaneously building Chateau Sherry. That rivalry between Moore Manor and Chateau Sherry became one of the most entertaining real estate feuds in Housewives history. The money behind it, Kenya Moore was crowned Miss USA in 1993 at the age of 22. She went on to have a career in acting and modeling, appearing in multiple films and television shows before joining RHOA in season 5. She moved to Atlanta after 18 years in Los Angeles, specifically to restart her personal life. She's also launched Kenya Moore Hair Care and has been a staple of the franchise for years. She's recently hinted at plans to sell Moore Manor, which means some lucky buyer is about to inherit a Housewives landmark. Monique Samuels, Potomac. Monique Samuels lived in one of the most impressive homes in the Real Housewives of Potomac franchise. And the wealth behind it has a very specific source: the NFL. Monique is the former wife of Chris Samuels, who played 10 seasons as an offensive tackle for the Washington Redskins and earned approximately $56 million in career salary. During their marriage, Monique managed Chris's real estate investment company, and together they owned properties in multiple locations including Potomac, Vienna, Ashburn, Newburgh, and Virginia Beach. Their primary home was a sprawling estate in the Potomac area, widely reported to be valued in the $8 to $12 million range. Monique was born Monique Cox in Pleasantville, New Jersey. She was the salutatorian of her graduating class and attended Duquesne University on a full academic scholarship before leaving to pursue a music career in Washington, D.C. She later earned a business degree from the University of Alabama. She joined RHOP in its second season in 2017 and stayed through season 5, becoming known for her outspoken personality and her intense feud with Candiace Dillard Bassett. After leaving RHOP, she appeared on Love and Marriage DC. Beyond TV, Monique founded Mila Eve Essentials, a line of essential oils and self-care products, and runs Not for Lazy Moms, a multimedia platform for women. She also released music, including a single called Drag Queens. Her estimated net worth sits around $4 to $8 million. She and Chris announced their divorce in 2023 after 10 years of marriage. The Potomac estate was part of a real estate portfolio that reflected serious NFL money managed wisely, and it gave Monique one of the most beautiful backdrops in Bravo history. Dorrit Kemsley, Encino, and Beverly Hills. Dorrit Kemsley's real estate story is a roller coaster. In 2019, she and her husband PK Kemsley purchased a stunning home in Encino, California for $6.475 million. The The home is over 7,700 square feet with 6 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, a chef's kitchen, custom wallpaper, vaulted ceilings, a putting green, a half basketball court, and a large swimming pool. It's gorgeous, and it's also been at the center of one of the messiest financial sagas in Rob history. They listed the home for $9.5 million in 2020, with Mauricio Umansky as the broker. It didn't sell. Then in 2023, reports emerged that they'd moved into a $13.5 million Hidden Hills estate. Then came the separation in 2024. Then came the pre-foreclosure notice after missed mortgage payments. PK eventually paid off the $300,000 debt to pull the home out of foreclosure. Now, the Encino mansion sits at the center of their ongoing divorce proceedings, with PK requesting the court force a sale. The Kemsleys also previously lived in a Beverly Hills mansion co-owned with a business partner, which was listed for $12.85 million, but ultimately sold for about $7.5 million after multiple price reductions. Before Rob, Dorrit spent nearly a decade in Italy working in swimwear fashion. She graduated from Quinnipiac University with a degree in design, marketing, and communications, and later launched her own fashion lines, Beverly Beach and Nectaria. PK, meanwhile, is a British businessman and entertainment manager. Her net worth estimates vary wildly, anywhere from $5 million to $50 million, depending on the source, which tells you everything about how complicated their finances actually are. Bethenny Frankel. Bethenny Frankel doesn't have one iconic mansion. She has a whole portfolio. A $2.7 million house in the Hamptons. A 4-bedroom condo in New York City. A $4.5 million mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut. A property in Boston's Back Bay. She sold a Soho apartment for nearly $10 million after renovating it. She doesn't just buy houses, she buys them, guts them, rebuilds them, and flips them at enormous profit. It's essentially HGTV with better handbags. But what makes Bethenny's story legendary is how she got here. In her first season on Roni, she earned $7,250 for the entire season, but she negotiated one clause into her contract that nobody else thought to ask for. She retained ownership of anything she created off camera. The executives probably didn't blink. Then she created Skinny Girl cocktails, which became the fastest-growing spirits brand in American history. In 2011, she sold the Skinny Girl cocktail line for a reported $100 million and kept the brand name for every other product category. She turned a $7,200 TV paycheck into an $80 million empire. Her real estate portfolio alone is estimated at around $20 million combined. She also earned millions from book sales, brand endorsements, and even negotiated an equity stake in Cameo rather than a flat fee, then cashed out for a 7-figure profit when the company hit a $1 billion valuation. Bethenny doesn't just play the game, she rewrites the rules and then charges licensing fees. Kyle Richards' Encino estate. Kyle's current home is the one that really turned heads. Her Encino mansion in the San Fernando Valley, purchased in 2017 for $8.2 million. It's over 10,000 square feet and sits on a massive lot. Kyle actually found the house because she went to check out the floors for renovation ideas at one of Mauricio's own listings and then decided to buy the entire property. That's like going to a restaurant to look at the menu design and buying the building. As Mauricio himself told press at the time, that same house in Beverly Hills proper would probably cost $45 million. You get a lot more for your money in the valley. He said the land is amazing. The couple has also owned vacation homes in La Quinta, California, purchased in 2014 for $2.35 million, and in Aspen, Colorado, which they listed for $9.75 million. Kyle has been on Rob since season 1, the only original cast member to appear in every season. She's also had a long acting career that started in childhood, including a role in the original Halloween film. She's launched clothing lines, appeared at New York Fashion Week, and her combined net worth with Mauricio is estimated at around $100 million. Between the agency's billions in sales and Kyle's Bravo longevity, this is one couple where the real estate portfolio is basically a family business. Nicole Martin, Coral Gables. Nicole Martin from Real Housewives of Miami is the dark horse of this list, and she might actually have the single most impressive real estate track record of anyone here. Nicole's previous Coral Gables waterfront home was a stunning 9,000 square foot Spanish colonial-style mansion that she and her fiancé, insurance attorney Anthony Lopez, got renovated over 12 months. The renovation was designed by Briggs Edward Solomon, the same designer who's done interiors for Alex Rodriguez, and featured a 30,000-bottle wine cellar, a 20-seat movie theater, European Elkwood flooring, and designer furniture, including a mid-century Jean-Prouvé daybed. It was the definition of understated luxury. Then she sold it to British pop star Robbie Williams for $40 million, setting a record for Coral Gables. After selling, Nicole and Anthony purchased a new home, also in Coral Gables, for $34 million. This one sits in the ultra-exclusive guard-gated Gables Estates, one of only 14 properties in the enclave. It faces Biscayne Bay, stretches across 225 feet of shoreline, covers 12,500 square feet, and was previously owned by Miami Heat legend Alonzo Mourning. The property features a chef's kitchen with custom cabinetry, a temperature-controlled wine cellar for 2,700 bottles, 2 home offices, a game and entertainment room, and its own dock. How does she afford this? Nicole is an anesthesiologist and assistant professor of clinical anesthesiology at the University of Miami. Anthony is a powerhouse insurance attorney. Together, they've built a real estate portfolio that also includes a newly built home in Colorado and investment properties. Nicole left RHOM after season 6 to focus on her family. She was dealing with postpartum anxiety, but her real estate moves speak louder than any reunion. Lisa Vanderpump, Villa Rosa. Villa Rosa isn't just a house. It's a brand, a backdrop, and basically a character with better lighting than half the cast. Lisa Vanderpump and her husband Ken Todd purchased Villa Rosa in 2011 for $12 million, and it's now estimated to be worth around $20 million. The property sits in Beverly Hills, spans 8,800 square feet with 5 bedrooms and 8 bathrooms. But before you even walk through the glass front door, you have to cross an actual moat with swans living in it full-time. Inside there's a 2-story library, a wine cellar, a media room, floor-to-ceiling glass doors, a dining room covered in wall-to-wall mirrors with crystal candlesticks, and a kitchen that cost $300,000 to renovate. There are stables for miniature horses, an infinity pool overlooking the Beverly Hills hillside, and fresh flowers delivered weekly because Lisa Vanderpump does not do artificial anything. She described the property as one of her favorite places in the world, writing that every morning she wakes up and looks over the incredibly lush and isolated valley below her windows. The wealth behind Villa Rosa, Lisa and Ken Todd opened over 30 restaurants, bars, and clubs across London before they ever set foot in America. They sold their most popular London establishment for $16 million in 1998, and that bankrolled everything. In the US, they built SUR, Tom Tom, and Vanderpump Au Paris in Las Vegas. Lisa's combined net worth with Ken Todd is estimated at $90 million. She was already rich before Bravo. Bravo just gave her a bigger audience. Adrienne Maloof, Beverly Park. If you watched the early seasons of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, you remember Adrienne Maloof's house looking like a palace that got lost on the way to Versailles and accidentally landed in Beverly Park. That's because it basically was. Her Beverly Park estate was a French chateau-style mansion designed by celebrity architect Richard Landry. Close to 20,000 square feet, 8 bedrooms, 11 bathrooms, 2 acres of gated land in one of the most exclusive communities in Los Angeles. The property included a tennis court, a media room, a wine cellar, a swimming pool, a pool house, and a separate guest house. Adrienne and her then-husband, Paul Nassif, bought it in 2004 for $12.7 million. When they put it on the market during their divorce, they listed it for $26 million. It ultimately sold for $19.5 million. And the listing agent was Mauricio Umansky because the Rob universe is a small, wealthy circle. Here's what makes Adrienne different. She didn't marry into money or build a brand on television. She is the money. Adrienne is part of the Maloof family, one of the wealthiest families in America. Their holdings have included the Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas and the Sacramento Kings NBA team. She's a co-owner of Maloof Companies. After the divorce, Adrienne moved into a 14,000-square-foot Mediterranean-style mansion in the San Fernando Valley with a skateboard room for her sons, complete with hand-drawn murals of street scenery and a Batman-themed mural in one of the boys' bedrooms. Because even billionaire families have kids who just want a cool room. Heather Dubrow, Chateau Dubrow. There are mansions, there are mega mansions, and then there is Chateau Dubrow, the single most expensive home in Real Housewives history. Heather herself once said the house became sort of a character on the show, and that is probably the most accurate description of any property on this entire list. Chateau Dubrow was a 22,000-square-foot custom-built mansion in the guard-gated Crystal Cove community of Newport Beach, California. 7 bedrooms, 14 bathrooms, a 30-foot-high entryway ceiling with a chandelier made of semi-precious stone. The kitchen and family room combo stretched 3/4 the length of a football field. There was a 24-seat movie theater, a champagne wall in the dining room stocked with 300 bottles of chilled Veuve Clicquot that cost $12,000 just to restock. A custom-etched glass mural of the family tree, a subterranean garage with car lifts that could hold up to 20 vehicles, an infinity pool with a barbecue pavilion, a glowing basement bar, and a closet that Heather called her girl cave. The cabinetry alone cost $630,000. And there was a button in Heather's closet that rang the kitchen to deliver champagne. A button for champagne delivery. That is not a house feature. That is a lifestyle. The Dubrows bought the empty lot in 2013 for $4.18 million and spent approximately $21 million building the property. Archosy documented the construction over multiple seasons. In 2022, they sold it in an off-market deal for $55 million, making it Orange County's most expensive residential sale that year and the 3rd highest sale in Orange County history. The broker was Josh Altman from Million Dollar Listing, who told press, "We caught lightning." The money. Heather's husband, Terry Dubrow, is one of the most prominent plastic surgeons in the world, ranked as the 3rd highest paid in his field. He co-hosts Botched on E! With Dr. Paul Nassif, reportedly earning $2 million per season. He charges up to $100,000 per surgery and performs roughly 10 per week. Their combined net worth is estimated at up to $160 million. The Dubrows have since moved into a penthouse in LA because after you sell a $55 million mansion, apparently the next move is to live in the sky. And in a final twist, the buyer, medical device tycoon Shu Hong, recently put Chateau Dubrow back on the market for $62 million. So even after the Dubrows left, the house is still making headlines. And that's the thing about these houses. Every single one of them tells a story. Some stories are about making it. Some are about almost losing it. And some are about pressing a button in your closet and having champagne show up. The question is, which one would you actually move into? Personally, I'd take the moat with the swans. You can't put a price on having a moat. Actually, Lisa Vanderpump did. It was $12 million. V.